Hi guys and welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a while but I'm glad you stuck with me. Today we're playing Shadows of Doubt, which is a detective simulator game which is procedurally generated. There's lots of different murders, things to solve. It looks fun, so let's jump in and see if we can solve our first case.
It is the late 20th century. Hyperindustrialization has swept the planet. The old Bourbon Empire has crumbled, giving way to the United Atlantic States and the first elected megacorporation president in history, Starch Cola. As sea levels rise, cities have become polluted islands. Workers dream of escaping to the fields, an exclusive retirement district few will ever see. Rival corporations vie for power, policed by the privatized Starch Cola enforcers. Some say justice now only exists in the shadows.
It was 6 PM on a Monday evening in the city of Horrorville. The city is a dark, dank, horrible place filled with crime and corruption and murder aplenty. I decided to become a private detective in order to bring justice to those who didn't see it by the hands of the enforcers. But it didn't pay too well, so I decided to leave my apartment building and try and find a job in the local bar to earn a little bit of money to keep me going till the next case. I just hoped today wasn't going to be a day where a murder happened. No such luck. I got a report on my police scanner at 302 Burns Heights. There was a new murder afoot, and I knew I had to help. As I got to the building where the murder happened, I'd asked a few people on the way to the crime scene if they'd seen anything. They all told me they hadn't seen anything. So when I got to the crime scene, I checked the door to see if they'd left it unlocked. No such luck. So I tried to pick the lock, but someone caught me. But I tried to keep going, hoping that they would lose sight of me, but it did not happen, and they sounded the alarm. I didn't know what to do. The doors had come down, so I thought I'll try and hide inside and investigate the scene, but the police were already in there shooting at me. I didn't know where to go, I didn't know where to hide, so I did the only logical thing I could do. I jumped for it. I broke my leg and couldn't move. It didn't go well. I didn't know what had happened, but I knew I had to get back to Burns Heights. I couldn't lie around while a murderer was on the loose, so I ran as quick as I could to get back to the crime scene. As I got back to Burns Heights, the enforcers wouldn't let me in. The gate was still down, so I had to find other means to continue this investigation. I decided to ask the neighbours if they had seen anything. As I went one floor up from where the murder had happened, I met a lady coming out of the door. She said her name was Ventrice Coward, and I asked her if she'd seen anything suspicious. She said she'd seen a shifty character about, that they had short red hair and had been very angry. She saw him around 6:45, so I decided to make a note of it and continue with my investigation. So when the enforcers were not looking, they lifted the gates and I decided it was time to enter the crime scene. I had to get to work immediately, trying to find any clues that I could. So I pulled out my trusty fingerprint scanner and went straight to work. I found there was type A nearly everywhere. I found his wallet, Colbert Murphy. I hoped he was not the victim. But unfortunately I was wrong. There was lipstick all over the floor in a heart shape. I decided to try and find his fingerprints to see if they were the ones which were around his apartment. And unfortunately they were. I then searched his body. I found out that he was shot with a rifle and he died between 5:45 and 7 on Monday, the 2nd of January. So after a little bit more searching, I found a lipstick on the bed. I scanned it for prints, type B. I had not seen this type anywhere else in the flat, so I decided this was important. I also decided that I better check to see if I could find anything else. I found his passcode. I checked and found a shoe print on the floor. It was size 11, but I had to see if that was not already his size. Unfortunately it was, so all I had at the moment was a lipstick and one type B print, so I went looking to see if I could find anything else. After a bit more searching, I saw that there was writing on the wall. Who could have written it? What did it say? So I decided to shut the door to have a look. It said Calbert and Kay forever. I thought maybe it's a jilted lover, someone who wanted to be with him but he said no. But who on earth would this Kay be? I thought the only way I could figure it is maybe check his address book to see if he has anybody with the letter K in there. I rushed to the address book, eager to see who was in there. There was only one K, Kareem, and he lived next door. Could the killer really be that brazen to live next door to the person he kills? There's only one way to find out. I had to pay him a visit. As I went all the way next door to 301, I knocked on the door and my heart sunk as no one was there, but I heard a jangling of keys. As someone entered the house, I decided to knock to see if they would talk to me. I asked him if he knew Kareem. He had short red hair. I have a feeling this was the person the lady said she saw who was angry. He said it was not enough information to go on, so I asked if he knew our victim. He said it was his neighbour, Colbert Murphy, and that he saw him today around 11 p.m, but my detective senses told me he was lying. So I decided to find out what his name is, so I could put a name to his face, but he wouldn't tell me, so I decided to give him a 50, and he told me his name was Kareem Desir. It was all adding up. I knew this was our man, but I decided to go to City Hall to see if I could find some more information out about him, and tried to put him at the crime scene. He was our lead suspect. I knew I had some more work to do. Lady Luck shined at me. The government computer was left open, so I had a search on the database and found Kareem Dahir. I printed off his citizen record, and as luck would have it, he was type B. I got him. The fingerprints matched the ones which were on the lipstick, so I decided it was time to make the arrest and solve this case once and for all. As I got to the crime scene, there was only one thing stopping me, the enforcer, but I had to get into 301, I had to check for the evidence, and I had to arrest Kareem. So I decided it was worth picking the lock, hoping that he would not see me. Unfortunately he did and started opening fire. I ran inside, hoping that Kareem was not inside and I could investigate. No such luck. He was fast asleep in bed, but the gunfire did not wake him. I did not know what to do. I was looking for somewhere to hide. I was being shot. The enforcer was not letting up, so there was only one thing I could do. What brave people do. I ran away. As I ran, I had to find somewhere to go, so I looked desperately for somewhere to hide. The enforcer wouldn't chase me for long. They were lazy. They couldn't even look into a murder to check a government database. So I knew I didn't have too much work ahead. As luck would have it, the enforcer was lazy. I decided to hold for a second and then head back in. I had to get back into apartment 301. Was he really the man? I had to find this out. So as I headed in, I crossed my fingers in hope that they hadn't shut the door, that the enforcer was not still there, and that I could make my way back in and check for clues.
where the others couldn't.
I ran up the stairs as quick as I could,
town,
and I was so happy to find that the door was left open and no one was around to see me. I closed the door quickly and had a look to see if I could find any evidence. And he left it right on the side, a rifle. This must have been the rifle he killed our victim with. How could he be so brazen? I said that as I realised he left a human skull left on the side. This man had to be stopped. I had to get my cuffs. I had to arrest him now. As I pulled out the cuffs, I knew I had to stop him. Luckily he was fast asleep. So I handcuffed him and I searched him to see if he had any incriminating evidence on him. And he did. He had a box of rifle rounds, the same rifle rounds that he must have used to kill our victim. Now it was time to close this case once and for all. I would not let him get away with another murder. I had done it. I had caught the killer. I approached City Hall tired from this terrible murder case, just needing something warm to eat and drink. I just hoped I got it right. His prints were at the crime scene. His name was in the victim's address book. His name was even written on the wall. It had to be him. It was. I had solved this murder, and I can rest one more night knowing the town is safer because of me. Hi everybody, I hope you enjoyed that and my approach at telling this story while trying to show off the game. If you did, let me know if you'd like to see any more, and take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye everybody.